Today we're gonna talk about drawing and creating rain. As you can see here, I have a figure, pretty much it's a very simple figure here, and a blue gradient background. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create rain on this person, or around this person, or rain falling on him. We're gonna do a little bit of both. So why the blue background? Well, for me, it's usually when it's a rainy scene, it's kind of blued, a little bit more dark, because, you know, the clouds are probably, you know, removing all the light and all that, so you're probably gonna have a darker tone. You could do, you know, grayscale if you want to, you could do it with different colors and everything like that. But for this, I just chose blue because it's primarily the most common color that you use in the background when doing rain. And also for the rain, we're gonna do it in a more bluish kind of white, so we get to see the rain. You could of course do it in blue, maybe you want a blood rain, then you can do it in red and stuff like that. If it's a light day outside, I would probably go with a more darker blue, or perhaps a middle tone blue of sorts. So let's go do some rain. As you can see here in the layers, we have the ink, we have the flats and the shading, and we have the background colors here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one layer on top and call it front rain. Now this is the rain that's gonna be falling somewhat in front of the character, so we get the feeling that it's falling in front of him. And this is where we most likely are gonna put the more heavy rain, the thicker kind of raindrops. And we're gonna do a layer above the background but behind the character and call it back rain. So now we have two layers, one in front and one behind for the rain. But we are also gonna do one more above the ink, and we're gonna call it splashes. This is gonna be the rain that actually hits the character, because that is a thing that most people forget to do, is to do rain that affects the environment. Of course you can do that the character has, you know, like dripping hair and stuff like that, but you also have to see if it's raining, it's gonna splash on the shoulders and the head and stuff like that. Unless of course, you know, umbrella, but then the umbrella has to have the splashes. So we're gonna start with the front rain. Now how to do this? Well, I'm gonna show you how I do it, because you could do, you know, like drawing like this and try to get the rain to look correct like this, but that usually doesn't work that well. So what I usually do is this. I do simple dots, a little bit random, where I most likely want the rain to be. And I try to imagine that it's gonna fall down, and I do kind of thick. Like I said, this is the front rain, so we're gonna do a little bit of thicker dots. And some dots can be, you know, a little bit softer, just to get some randomness in here. And we can also put like some dots in front and like such. Now it kind of looks like it's, let's see, going down here. We don't have something, maybe something here, 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 and here. Yeah, that'll probably work. As you can see, we have a lot of dots. It looks like it's snowing, but it's actually not. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to blur, and I think it's motion blur in Photoshop, and this is gonna be movable blur. And let's see, I'm gonna go direction to blur. Okay, so let's see, let's get a, as you can see here, we're starting to get the effect we want, but we're gonna change the direction to a little bit more. There we go. And we're gonna just do a little bit. 90 degrees down is, straight down. So we want it to be a little bit to the side. And as you can see, we're getting some good lines here, but not good enough. So what we're gonna have to do for the front rain is we're gonna go and take the big spots and just go like this. So we get some good lines of rain, just so we can get the effect that we want. And this is something that you will have to experiment with, try to get what you want, because sometimes, yes, you will get exactly what you want from the start, sometimes not so much. It depends also on what kind of rain you want, the short rain, or like me, I like the long strands of rain. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And there we go. Let's try again. Blur, movable blur. We're gonna go with 92. No, there we go. And then I'm gonna go very far like this, and that looks okay. Now you can see the drops have lost a little bit of the whiteness. If you need it to be either stronger, you can always duplicate it to make it a little bit more, or you could, instead of doing a duplicate layer, we could just add glow or something like that. It also makes it stronger. And then again, if you want even stronger, boom, you can do it like that. So we're gonna go with this because I want the front rain to be a little bit more visually heavy. And we're gonna go with a movable blur again on the duplicate, just so we get some nice effect. There we go. There we go. So now we have our front rain. So let's remove that because we don't want it to interfere with our vision for the back rain. So I'm gonna go with a smaller brush now, and we're gonna go and do a lot more lines, because now we're on the back side of the character. So we're gonna go a little bit nuts here and just do like this. As you can see, I'm not doing big fat ones, I'm doing small ones, and I probably should have a smaller brush even, and just so we get the effect that we're after. What we're after is doing small strands this time. We're not after the big kind of, as you can see, I'm dotting like crazy here. Like that, and we could also go a little bit on top here, just to get some good effects like that. Here we go, and there we go, and I'm gonna lower this a little bit down like that. So let's go once again, movable blur. What I want to do now is we slightly tilted it a little bit to the right. So this time I'm gonna tilt it a little bit to the left, just to get the effect. And I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna duplicate it, and I'm actually gonna combine these two, and I'm gonna make a copy of this layer. And for this, we're gonna just push it a little bit to the side. Now, why are we doing this? Well, to create more, of course. We want more rain. So when we have these two now, and we put it on the front here, you can see we get a very big kind of effect. But the problem is now they're kind of mixing together. So what I usually do is this. I try to lower the opacity a little bit of the back rain, because like I said, the front rain is what's the most important one. And even that one we could, lower down, we could make it more visible, depending on how much you want. Once again, you can, mix it. For me, I want some kind of random rain. because now we're gonna go to the splashes, and we're gonna take a brush, a small brush, and what I'm gonna do is small just dots like this, not even, you know, looking too much on the effect, just trying some stuff here, and you can see we're getting something here. And I'm gonna go and do some small, just like splashes of water, kind of looks like. And this could be, you know, just splashes of water. And as you can see, it looks kind of ridiculous, and it's something you have to, you know, try and you know, mix and stuff like that. I usually go with a little bit of blur just to get the softness like this. And then you can see now it looks like it is actually, you know, splashing on him. What you also could do, and this is something you can do on your drawing to just, you know, to sell it, is kind of like, you know, going with the it's wet kind of stuff like that, and just, you know, drain the character, make him look wet, that it's actually raining. There's an effect on him, so to speak. And even then you go with some Gaussian blur or blur in general, just to make it, you know, more believable. You sell that the character is standing in a wet situation, weather and stuff like that, and that the material on the guy, or that the skin on the guy, is actually being wet. So here you have it, pretty much just the simple way to do it. Like I said, this is for rain. You could do it if you want to do it with, you know, like blood. Let's combine all this just to get, let's see, we're gonna go with boom, like that. And we have the backup rain, yes. So let's do it like this. We're gonna lock it, we're gonna lock that one, and we're gonna lock this, and I think this was the wet stuff. So let's lock that down as well. So let's make the rain like blood instead. So now we have blood rain in the back. You can see instantly it kind of loses power because it isn't designed, this isn't made from the start to look like, you know, blood. So what you're probably gonna have to do is, let's see, duplicate it until you get what you want. Maybe some multiply now. Color dodge, no. So let's make it just red like that, and we're gonna make this duplicate, and let's go with overlay. There you get some more, and let's duplicate the wetness and make it maybe call add glow. No, not add glow. There we go. And splashes, just let's make another duplicate just to get the red, because you have to do it pretty much something like this. So you can see we can get the blood effect as well if you want it like that, but you have to think about it first so you can design it and draw the colors correctly, so you get the right colors for it if you're gonna do the blood thing. But if you want rain, this is what I usually do most of the time. It's easy, it's simple. If you wanted to look in grayscale, of course you could, you know, do all this and just go combine all these layers. Let's make it, let's see, boom, here we go. And if you do it in grayscale, it should most likely work as well. Maybe you have to tweak some, you know, colors, maybe some things that should be darker and stuff like that, but you could do it, as you can see. So it works both ways, both grayscale and in color. But this is the way I usually do it when I do something like this. What you could do as well is, you know, make it very dark in the background. Now it's more dramatic, as you can see. The lighter, it feels like, okay, it's a rainy day, but this is dramatic. Something has happened. And you could also, you know, in the background, you could do like a lightning or something like that, and then you have something really dramatic, something like this. Now something has happened. But as you can see, it's not hard to do rain. Actually, it's just, you know, knowing how to do it and to think about, you know, some things should be in the foreground, some things should be in the background. It has to affect the character that's standing in the rain, either on the you know, umbrella or the clothes or the person, or maybe on, you know, surrounding buildings and stuff like that. Everything has to be affected. And you can also, you know, change how much rain depending on how many lines you do, how tight you do them. But what I always try to think about is try to make it a little bit random, both in the background and the foreground, so they don't exactly, you know, fall exactly down. Try to make it a little bit different, so it feels like, oh, in the foreground we get the wind a little bit, and in the background maybe it's just, you know, blowing a little bit to the other side. And of course try to make the character look wet, that it's affected by the rain. So I hope you have learned something today, and I will see you in the next tutorial video. Bye!